Good morning, my dear student friends. This is Mr. Mohan Rao. So today I'd like to give you the interesting part of the malaria, that is the life cycle of the plasmodium in the human beings. As I said earlier that the female Anopheles mosquito act like a vector. Once here the infected female Anopheles mosquito bites the human being, the infective stage of the plasmodium, that is a sporozoite, get enter into the human body. That here I mentioned the sporozoite. Thereafter, when it bites a human beings, near about 2000 number of sporozoites are get released into the human bloodstream. But here the interesting thing, when the mosquito is bite and here sucking the blood of a human being, generally the human blood has got a quality of clotting when it comes out of the blood vessels. And here there is a chance of clotting the blood also. So without here clotting the blood, actually the female Anopheles mosquito, it releases a specialized saliva which consists of here anticoagulant. So in the saliva of the mosquito, then anticoagulant is present, and name of that one is here anophyllin. Anophyllin is an enzyme that is present in the saliva of the mosquito, and this helps for not clotting the blood. Blood clotting will not be taken place, so that comfortably the sporozoites are get released into the bloodstream of the human beings. Once the sporozoite enter into the bloodstream, they do remain in the bloodstream for about half an hour. And afterwards, these sporozoites are get enter into the liver cells or hepatocytes. Thereafter, the life cycle of these plasmodium starts here in the human beings. Now, I'd like to here explain in detail the total life cycle of this plasmodium in the human beings. What are all the different stages that includes in the life cycle of the parasite in a detailed way hereafter. In the life cycle of the parasite in the human being, the life cycle that carried out is technically known as a schizogony. Schizogony. The schizogony is actually the asexual reproduction part of this parasite. That you know very well here, it completes its life cycle asexually and sexually also. The asexual part of this parasite life cycle is completed within the human being, whereas the sexual part of this life cycle of the parasite is carried out within the mosquito. So here the point is the asexual reproduction carried out in the human being is known as a schizogony. When you see this schizogony, it is not a single step process. It includes here three different stages. Of all the three different stages, the first one when you examine, that we call it as here hepatic schizogony is an important thing. Hepatic schizogony is the first step of this asexual reproduction. The point is this hepatic schizogony is carried out within the liver, and the liver cells are known as hepatocytes. That is the reason why the name to this cycle is given as hepatic schizogony. Whereas the second stage of this one, it is known as erythrocytic cycle. The erythrocytic cycle or erythrocytes means red blood cells in general we used to call. And this stage of the asexual reproduction is carried out within the red blood cells. That is the reason why we call this stage is known as erythrocytic cycle. Whereas the next one or third one is known as gametocytogony. This is a process in which here gametocytes will be formed. These gametocytes are nothing but here the gamete mother cells. Gametes, male and female gametes, are produced during the sexual cycle, and for production of these things the mother cells are present. That gamete mother cells are known as here gametocytes, and production of that gametocytes is known as here gametocytogony. This is the third stage. When you see of all these three, and the first one when you come, hepatic schizogony, and it is again here carried out in two different steps. One step it includes pre-erythrocytic cycle. That means it is a here the stage that occurs before the commencement of the erythrocytic cycle. That is the reason why we call it as a pre-erythrocytic cycle. Whereas the second step of the hepatic schizogyny is known as exoerythrocytic cycle. So it takes place outside the red blood cells, hence we call it as exoerythrocytic cycle. Now let us see about all these different kind of steps in a detailed way and a diagrammatic manner. Okay, pre-erythrocytic cycle. As I said, it is a part of hepatic schizogyny. This is the first stage. And this is the stage it takes place in the liver cells. Once the sporozoite released into the bloodstream, and the sporozoites after half an hour it attacks on the liver cells. Then cytolytic enzymes that produced by this sporozoite helps to this for rupturing the wall of a hepatocytes or liver cells. Then it can enter into the hepatocytes. I said the responsible organelles that are all present in a sporozoite for releasing of cytolytic enzymes. They are here that we already studied in the structure, ultrastructure of the sporozoite also. Secretory organelles are there which secrete this here cytolytic enzymes. Coming to here, when you see, this is actually liver cell. This liver cell is actually known as hepatocyte. Hepatocyte. And the liver cell has got a membrane, and this membrane is known as plasma membrane. Within every here liver cell, there you can find out a nucleus is present. Now this is the stage at which actually the sporozoite it infect or affect. So you know the structure of the sporozoite, which is a sickle cell shape or sickle shaped here structure it is. This is known as sporozoite. And you know that the sporozoite is infective stage of human beings. Next, once the sporozoite is enter into the liver cell, it start feeding on the component present within the liver cell, so that it attains a circular shape, and that is also a feeding stage. This you can see in this next case. In this sporozoite actually it attains a circular shape and start feeding on the internal component, and this is the nucleus of the sporozoite, whereas this is the nucleus of hepatocyte. At this condition, this is actually known as tropozoite. Interesting point, this tropozoite is the feeding stage. It go on eating the internal component. So once here it attains a good shape, then the nucleus division takes place within the sporozoite or this tropozoite. That type of nucleus division here followed by the cytoplasmic division is known as schizogony. That schizogony it takes place within this, and here resulting of which actually more number of nuclei will be formed. More number of here nuclei will be formed within this tropozoite. Here very interesting point it is, this entire process is known as schizogony. Then what is the difference between the schizogony and the cell division? Generally, cell division takes place in two different steps. The first step is known as karyogony, at which the nucleus is get divides. After each karyogony, it followed by a cytoplasmic division also, right? And that is actually known as the actual cell division. I'll give you the detailed information. Here, this is division of nucleus. After every nucleus division, cytoplasmic division also here it carries out, resulting of which actually two cells are produced. two daughter cells are produced. This is the natural here cell division. Coming to the next cell division, again the cell division takes place in the nuclei of the two cells, and that followed by the cytoplasmic division. This process is known as natural cell division. Then how this is different from this schizogony? It is an interesting thing. In schizogony, repeated nucleic division will be taken place. After completion of all the nucleus division, then the cytoplasmic division it takes place. Resulting of that, more number of cells will be formed. This is actually the difference between the cell division as well as here schizogony. At this stage, this is actually known as schizoint, and at this stage, this is now known as schizoint. One thing. Now, after a good number of here, these stages are get formed. Naturally, the schizoint it ruptures, that followed by the division of even or the breaking of the hepatocyte also. Whatever the new cells are formed within that, these are known as cryptozoites. Cryptozoites, these are all. Now at the end of this one, what happens? Let us see now in a detailed way. In this, whatever here cryptozoites are present, these cryptozoites are releases out here in such a way they do all here produced out, and this is known as cryptozoite. Are released. And here the point is, when you see the total number of cryptozoites that produced within the each hepatocyte, it ranges from 1000 to 1200 in their number. 1000 to 1200 number of cryptozoites are produced here in each hepatocytes. When the hepatocyte as well as the schizoint it ruptures, breaks down, then the cryptozoites are get releases out. Then these cryptozoites have got two fates. One thing is, some of the cryptozoites they do here try to enter in a red blood cells. These are all RBC, red blood cell, and here once these are all get enter into the red blood cell, they start a cycle known as erythrocytic cycle. Erythrocytic cycle will be commences. So this is the one way how it is here triggers the erythrocytic cycle. The second here destination of these cryptozoites, they do attack here new liver cells. Here is a point. The new liver cell will be here get affected by this one, so that it start the second stage of hepatic schizogony, that we call it as exoerythrocytic cycle. This is what the exoerythrocytic cycle, how it starts. Now the point is, when this cryptozoite enter into this one, and here it attains also a circular shape. It attains a circular shape and it start feeding again the component of the entire hepatocytes. The similar kind of here changes that took place in a pre-erythrocytic cycle, the same type of here the changes also takes place in the next stage, that is exoerythrocytic cycle. So as I said, when the cryptozoites enter into this one, it here turns into a here feeding stage. We call it as again trophozoite. Once the trophozoite is get formed, what happens? That you know very well, within the nucleus, repeated cell division will be taken place. This is the nucleus. Within that, schizogony, that what I explained already, will be taken place. That means repeated nucleus division will be takes place. After formation of total number of nuclei, then the cytoplasmic division it commences. Resulting of that, more number of here cells will be formed, and these cells here are produced within this, and this forms again the Schei joint. This is again the Schei joint will be formed. This you can see. At this stage, now this plasmodium is known as Schei joint. Then the specialized cells that produced in the exoerythrocytic cycle in the Schei joint, now here they are known as metacryptozoites. These now are known as metacryptozoites. And they have got even the another name also. They are known as second generation of merozoites, whereas the cryptozoites here are known as the first generation of merozoites, whereas the metacryptozoites that produced at the end of here exoerythrocytic cycle, and these are known as the second generation of merozoites. And even these merozoites also produce here 1000 in the number in each hepatocyte. 1000 in their number are produced in the each hepatocyte here during the exoerythrocytic cycle. Then after completion of the exoerythrocytic cycle, the good number of here metacryptozoites are produced. And here one more interesting thing, after repeated exoerythrocytic cycle, these metacryptozoites are get modified into two different types of cells. These two different types of cells here are, one is, see this one type of cells here are produced from these are known as micrometacryptozoites is one thing. Micrometacryptozoites is one thing. And it produces even the second type of even cells also, and the second types of cells are known as here macrometacryptozoites are produced. So whatever the metacryptozoites are get produced at the end of the exoerythrocytic cycle, they are get transformed into the two different stages. Of the two different stages, one is a small in the size, that we call it as micrometacryptozoite, whereas the larger in the size, this we call it as here macrometacryptozoites. Then what will be the destination of these two things? In this case, when you see the macrometacryptozoite here, they do attack the new liver cells. New liver cells will be here get affected here by these macrometacryptozoites, and exoerythrocytic cycle it commences, or else the macrometacryptozoites are remain in a inactive stage, and that stage is known as a dormancy stage. It remains within that. Whereas here the point is, if you see this one, these here micrometacryptozoites, they do attack the red blood cells. RBC will be affected by this micrometacryptozoite, so that they do start the erythrocytic cycle. The erythrocytic cycle will be get started by engulfing or entry of these micrometacryptozoites into the red blood cells. This is the way how the exoerythrocytic cycle it takes place, and even the pre-erythrocytic cycle also. This is a diagrammatic representation of the entire hepatic schizogeny, and the two stages includes in the hepatic schizogeny or pre-erythrocytic cycle as well as exoerythrocytic cycle. Now I will explain the total here content in a descriptive way. Now I will describe total hepatic schizogeny in a descriptive way. As of now I explained diagrammatically what are all the stages that develops during this pre-erythrocytic cycle and exoerythrocytic cycle we happen to see. Let us see this one here in a detailed way. Coming to this one, this pre-erythrocytic cycle is the first stage of hepatic schizogeny, and this was first explained by the two important scientists. One is E. Short as well as here Gunham are the two scientists explained about the hepatic schizogyny, particularly in that here pre-erythrocytic cycle. Next one is then during this one the cytolytic action of these sporozoites here act on the hepatic cells and ruptures them, and they get enter into this one. Thereafter they do get here develops into a trophozoite stage. These trophozoites are the feeding stage of this one. This trophozoites attains a circular shape and start feeding on that, and within that here the schizoid stage will be developed. The trophozoite later on turns into a schizoid stage. So within this schizoid stage, the nucleus division takes place repeatedly. At last the cytoplasmic division will be taken place. That is the reason why this process is known as here schizogony. See this technical definition. The schizogony is a type of multiple fission in which the nuclear division takes place here repeatedly. At last the cytoplasmic division will be taken place. Such a kind of division is known as schizogony. And next to this, whatever the cells that are produced resulting of the schizogony takes place in a schizoid, actually known as here cryptomerozoites. Then in each liver cells here almost all 1000 to 1200 number of cryptozoites are formed. These are known as first generation of merozoites. That is the point to be noted. And thereafter they are otherwise even known as cryptomerozoites also. So the cryptomerozoites or cryptozoites or the first generation of merozoites or the here end products or the stages here at the end of the pre-erythrocytic cycle. Coming to exoerythrocytic cycle, when you see here it commences next to this. Whatever the cryptozoites are produced at the end of pre-erythrocytic cycle or here attack the new liver cells and starts the exoerythrocytic cycle. What are all these? The cryptozoites. They do produced within that. Even these cryptozoites, when they enter, the similar kind of changes that took place in the pre-erythrocytic cycle, the same type of things also takes place in the exoerythrocytic cycle also, resulting of which actually here metacryptozoites are produced, and these metacryptozoites are known as second generation of merozoites, and these metacryptozoites are produced 1000 per each liver cell by the end of the exoerythrocytic cycle. When you see here these metacryptozoites, they all get transformed into two different types of here cells again, which are known as micrometacryptozoites is one important thing. These micrometacryptozoites, they do here attack the red blood cells so that erythrocytic cycle will commence. Erythrocytic cycle will be starts once the micrometacryptozoites of exoerythrocytic cycle or get enter into the red blood cell, whereas the metacryptozoites are get transformed into even the macrometacryptozoites also. But the macrometacryptozoites, they do here attack on the liver cells. Here are hepatocytes, and again it triggers one more exoerythrocytic cycle. So here the micrometacryptozoites enter into the erythrocytic cycle, red blood cells, and commences the erythrocytic cycle. The macrometacryptozoites attack in new liver cells or hepatocytes, and again it starts the exoerythrocytic cycle. This is all about here hepatic schizogony. Now let us see more detailedly about erythrocytic cycle in a detailed way. Right, before I get into the erythrocytic cycle, I'd like to give you a brief information regarding the pre-patient period. Then what does that pre-patient period means? Simply here the pre-patient period is nothing but the total time period that is taken by hepatic schizogony. So the total time is known as here the pre-patient period. This pre-patient period differs in different species of the Plasmodium. And here when you see the Plasmodium vivax, in order to complete the hepatic schizogony, then it takes place near about 9 days. Whereas when you see here the Plasmodium even ovale also takes place the same time, that is 9 days span of time. And next to that, if you see the Plasmodium malariae, it takes place the maximum time period in order to complete the hepatic schizogony or the pre-patient period, that is nothing but the 15 days span of time. But whereas the very interesting point related to this, that is the Plasmodium falciparum, it takes very less time period for completion of this hepatic schizogony, that is nothing but only 5 days is the pre-patient period for this. The reason for that, as I said here just now, the hepatic schizogony includes the two different stages. The first one is known as a pre-erythrocytic cycle, whereas the second one is known as exoerythrocytic cycle. But coming to the here Plasmodium species, that is Plasmodium falciparum, in this exoerythrocytic cycle is absent. That is an important point. The exoerythrocytic cycle within this is absent, so that it takes place very less time for completion of the hepatic schizogony. That is the reason why the pre-patient period for this is 5 days. So this pre-patient period we can explain in another terms also, from the time of infection and the entry of these pathogens into the red blood cells, how much time it takes place, and that time is also here considered as the pre-patient period. This is simply nothing but hepatic schizogony period. So it differs in different kind of Plasmodium species. So this is about here pre-patient period. And now let us see the here right exoerythrocytic cycle. After completion of that, here erythrocytic cycle it commences. Right, erythrocytic cycle is a cycle which takes place within the red blood cells. And coming to here, this red blood cells RBC receives two different stages of the Plasmodium from pre-erythrocytic cycle, one thing, and second one is exoerythrocytic cycle also. And very interesting and important point, and this red blood cells receives cryptozoites from pre-erythrocytic cycle. That is a very important point and bit also. These are cryptozoites. These cryptozoites are received from here pre-erythrocytic cycle, whereas it receives the another important here the stage which is known as metacryptozoites, and that particularly micrometacryptozoites. These are all. This is the second stage known as metacryptozoite. Where does this metacryptozoites are received from? These are received from exoerythrocytic cycle. Exoerythrocytic cycle. From this, metacryptozoites are received into the red blood cell. Cryptozoites are received from pre-erythrocytic cycle. And next, when these two are get enter into this, actually this is here attains a circular shape. It attains a circular shape and it start feeding on the total component of red blood cells. You know that here the feeding stage of that one is known as trophozoite. It is known as a trophozoite. So during the time when it is going on feeding, a small vacuole is here formed in the cytoplasm of the parasite. And see this one now clearly. When you see, this is the nucleus within which here a small vacuole will be formed. This is what? Vacuole. During the course of time, this vacuole go on increasing and pushes the nucleus and cytoplasm present within this parasite to the periphery. So it attains here the specialized structure by the time. When you see the vacuole is gradually increases in its size. This is the vacuole. So that the cytoplasm present within this is here pushed, as well as the nucleus is also pushed to the periphery of the parasite. Resulting of that, when you see this parasite at this stage, it gives you the appearance like a finger ring. That is the reason why this stage is known as signet ring stage. Signet ring stage it is. Then gradually during the course of time, this parasite here lose the vacuole. That means vacuole disappears, and on its surface the parasite it develop the pseudopodia and attain the shape like a amoeba. It's an important thing. And when you see this one, during this time here it attains the shape like a amoeba by developing the pseudopodia on its surface. So that is the reason why at this stage it is known as amoeboid stage. It's an amoeboid stage. The very interesting thing in this regard, you all know that here the red blood cells consist of a color giving pigment known as hemoglobin. Here it has got hemoglobin. This hemoglobin has got the two important components. One component is globin, and whereas the second one is heme. Interesting point, this parasite feed on the globin part of hemoglobin, whereas it doesn't here feed on this heme. Actually the heme is a soluble substance. It is a soluble substance. Then the soluble heme turns into insoluble hemazoin. And this hemazoin is insoluble. It's a very important thing. And this hemazoin is actually here present in yellowish brown in the color. Yellowish brown in the color. When you see here the chemical nature of this hemazoin, the hemazoin is here a polymer of periphoto here porphyrin. Here it is polymer of ferriprotoporphyrin. What is this? This is the chemical form of this hemazoin. It's an important thing. It's a polymer of hemazoin is actually the polymer of ferriprotoporphyrin. It is actually an insoluble component. It is actually the toxic substance. Earlier actually the hemazoin is present in the hemoglobin in the form of soluble heme. Since this amoeboid stage of the parasite go on feeding on the hemoglobin component, particularly the globin part is here taken up by this parasite, and here it leaves the heme in the form of hemazoin, and this hemazoin is actually present in the cytoplasm of the parasite. This is an important point. And during this size, actually the size of a red blood cell is gradually increases. Since the parasite is gradually increasing in its size, and so that it makes even here the increasing of the size of a red blood cell also. When you compare with this, almost all here, the size of this one, it doubles the size of a red blood cell. And during this time, here the parasite, it lose its pseudopodia, and later on here it attains again the circular stage. It attains a circular stage, and it consists of here the nucleus within this, and within the cytoplasm of this one, there you can see hemazoin is present. Hemazoin is present. Now within the nucleus of here this parasite, the meiotic cell division it takes place, so that more number of nuclei will be formed. and this nuclei will be get surrounded by actually some amount of cytoplasm. Some amount of here cytoplasm will be formed here around the nuclei that are all formed here, that you can see. Like this, these are all get formed, and this is actually known as Schei joint. Schei joint, division of multiple here nucleus and as well as division of cytoplasm. Now we can say that is known as schizogony. And I said, since this parasite is feeding on the component and increasing in the size, it results even doubling the size of a red blood cells also, and this process is known as hypertrophy. Another important point here, the size of the red blood cell here almost all doubles, that is known as here hypertrophy. Hypertrophy it is. Right, during this time actually the total number of here the cells that are all produced here ranges from 12 to almost all 24 in their number. The cells that formed within this Schei joint now termed as merozoites, and these are all known as here now the merozoites. And the point here is, when you see all these merozoites within the red blood cell are arranged like the petals that are all present in a here rose flower. So how the petals are get arranged within the rose flower, in such a way all these merozoites are get arranged. That is the reason why this stage is known as rosette stage. A rosette stage, right? Sorry. Now it comes to the rosette stage. Since the merozoites are get here present or arranged like a petals in a rose flower. Now the number of these merozoites present within this, as I said here, ranges from 12 to 24 in their number. So next to this here, this rosette stage it breaks down, resulting of that the merozoites are get releases out. And here one more point that you need to keep it in mind, during this stage in the cytoplasm, see this point, in the cytoplasm of red blood cell, I am not talking about the Plasmodium parasite, in the cytoplasm of red blood cell you can see dark red color here stains are present. A dark red color here stains are present or granules are present. These granules are known as Schaffner's here granules or dots. Schaffner's granules. They are dark red in the color. Right. Here it was believed that these Schaffner's granules are nothing but the antigens of the parasite. Here it is an important thing. Antigens of the parasite, they believed. Now, whatever here these merozoites are get produced, they do break down this one and they all get releases. The merozoites are get releases like this. And here when the merozoites are get released, along with that hemazoin is also get releases. Hemazoin is also get releases into the bloodstream, and this, since as a toxic substance, it results in the actually the fever, malarial fever in the human beings. So erythrocytic cycle is directly here related to the malarial fever in the human beings. So this is all about here the erythrocytic cycle. The very important point, and here bits related to this one, is in the medical entrance examination they do ask the sequence of all the stages. So you have to keep it in the mind, the sequence of all these stages. So they will ask here, what is the sequence of stages in the erythrocytic cycle of the plasmodium in the following options? So it will be given like that here. Tropozoite is the first stage, whereas the second stage is actually here is the signet ring stage. Third stage includes amoeboid stage. The fourth stage is a shy joint stage, and the fifth stage is rosette stage. So you have to keep this sequence in your order, but in the options they will be here given in a jumbled order. So you have to identify the right option in this regard. So this is all about here erythrocytic cycle. Now I do explain this erythrocytic cycle in a descriptive way. Coming to the erythrocytic cycle, it was explained by a scientist, Camillo Golgi. That is the reason why the cycle is known as Golgi cycle. In this, what happened actually, right? Microcryptozoites from exoerythrocytic cycle. In the similar way, here they are cryptozoites, and from the pre-erythrocytic cycle, they do enter into the red blood cells and start feeding on the hemoglobin present in a red blood cell, resulting of which actually a stage will develop that we call it as a tropozoite stage. And this tropozoite stage, since it is going on feeding, actually it develops a vacuole within that, and vacuole is gradually increasing the size and pushes the nucleus as well as cytoplasm to the periphery, resulting of which that stage gives like a finger ring, so that stage is known as signet ring stage. It is known as signet ring stage. In due course of time, the signet ring vacuole will be disappears, and it develops the here pseudopodia on its surface, resulting of that the stage that gives us a shape of a amoeba. That is the reason why we call it as here amoeboid stage. This amoeboid stage feeding on the hemoglobin of a red blood cells, particularly the globin part, that is the protein part, feed on here, then the heme part is get left behind. Then the hemoglobin, which is soluble in the condition the heme, it turns into insoluble hemazoin, and this is actually present in yellowish brown colored pigment that is known as hemazoin. The interesting point related to this, the hemazoin is otherwise known as malaria pigment also. Malaria pigment it is. And next to this hemazoin is actually insoluble in the nature, as I said, and that too it is a polymer of ferri here protoporphyrin. Chemically the hemazoin is ferri protoporphyrin, and it is actually a toxic substance. Thereafter, this amoeboid nucleus is divides and produces here the number of multiple here nuclei will be produced, and that that is known as a schizogony, resulting of that more number of cells will be formed, and that is known as shy joint stage. The shy joint stage it is. Later on, the shy joint stage, whatever the cells are produced, they are known as merozoites. Merozoites are get produced, and that too when you see during this time in a red blood cell, you can find out a dark red colored stains or dots are present. These are actually known as Schaffner's granules. Actually, Schaffner's granules are believed that they are all the antigens. They are the antigens of the Plasmodium parasite. That was a belief regarding this one. And next to this, when you see, then the shy joint has got near about 16 to 24 number of merozoites. The cells that are all produced, as I said, are known as the merozoites. The merozoites are there in the shy joint stage, which are 16 to 24 in their number, or 12 to 24 in their number also you can say. And they're all arranged within this shy joint like the petals in a rose flower. That is the reason why we call it as here rosette stage. Rosette stage that is. Then the RBC, it ruptures, breaks down, and it produces the merozoites, and even the hemazoin is also released into the bloodstream after rupturing of the rosette stage as well as red blood cells. The hemazoin and merozoites are get released into the blood plasma, bloodstream. And next to this, when you see, after several erythrocytic cycle, when more amount of hemazoin is here releases, it finally results in malaria fever. So hemazoin, it finally results in a malaria fever. That is one thing. And the total time period that is taken by this erythrocytic cycle is 48 hours or else 2 days. 48 hours or 2 days time will be taken place. Right. Now when you see here, the time period taken by these different kind of species for the erythrocytic cycle, it differs. Let us see here the time period taken by these in a detailed way by the various types of species. As you know that here the erythrocytic cycle time period taken by the various species, it includes, for example, Plasmodium vivax, Plasmodium vivae, takes place 48 hours span of time or else 2 days for completion of erythrocytic cycle. Whereas Plasmodium malariae, it takes place here 72 hours or else 3 days span of time for completion of erythrocytic cycle. And here is an important thing, Plasmodium falciparum, it takes place only 24 hours or else 1 day span of time. So this is all about here erythrocytic cycle and the time period taken by every species of the Plasmodium for completion of this erythrocytic cycle. Now when we come to the third stage of asexual reproduction takes place in the human beings of the parasite is nothing but gametocytogamy. So during this gametocytogamy, gamete mother cells will be get produced. These gamete mother cells are actually known as gametocytes, from which here further the male and female gametes will be get produced. Then when do this gametogamy it get starts? Let us see now in a detailed way. Soon after completion of the erythrocytic cycles repeatedly, at the end the merozoites will be get produced. During that time, here the parasite lose its validity or vitality, that means the activeness it get loose. So that here these parasites during this time it enter into the red blood cells, particularly when the red blood cells are growing in a spleen as well as a bone marrow. This is a very important thing. Here these merozoites during this time or get enter into here two important here places. One is the spleen and whereas the second one is bone marrow. In these two places, when these red blood cells are present, into that actually these merozoites are get enter. Resulting of that, these merozoites are get transformed into two different types of here gametocytes. Two types of gametocytes will be get produced. Of the two types, the first one is known as microgametocyte. This microgametocyte is actually here in future will develop the male gametes. When you see the structure of this one, it has got the large nucleus as well as here small size. This is an important point related to this. Here these microgametocytes which are small in the size, but the nucleus of this one, when you happen to see, they do have got larger nucleus. That is the characteristic feature. Then whereas the second type of here the merozoites that are all get transformed are macrogametocytes. In future these macrogametocytes will develop here the female gametes. When you see the characteristic feature of this one, this is actually larger in the size with a smaller nucleus. nucleus is small, but the size of this is actually the big. That is one thing. And now the point, when you see, these are all the male and female gametes are actually produced within here 1:2 ratio. It is an important thing. In 1:2 ratio, they all get produced. What they are all? Male and here female gametocytes. They are all produced in 1:2 ratio is an important thing. Thereafter, these gametocytes do not develop in the human body is one thing. The major reason for that is human blood pH is too high is one thing, and whereas the second thing is the body temperature of human being is not suitable for development of your gametocytes. That is the reason why these gametocytes here search for a new host where the comfortable pH and as well as here low temperature will be maintained. They are nothing but female Anopheles mosquitoes. And here, so that they do search for a cold-blooded animals for their further development. Then when the infected person is bitten by any kind of female Anopheles mosquito and suck the blood, then these gametocytes are get enter into the digestive system of the mosquito. The further development of the gametocytes into gametes will be taken place in the gut or the digestive system of mosquito. This is about here gametogamy, and which is a third stage of schizogony that takes place in a human being. Right, in the coming session, I do explain in a detailed way about here the total life cycle taken by a mosquito. Before that, I'd like to give you the incubation period of this here parasite in a detailed way in the next class, right?